Nowadays, people either try to do everything themselves and barely use AI, or the opposite, they try to delegate everything to AI. And obviously, neither works, especially as models like Gemini 3 continue to redefine capabilities month by month, making last year's assumptions feel obsolete. In 2026, employers don't want people who can just use ChatGPT anymore. Everyone can use ChatGPT. That's not really a skill anymore. What they actually want and what they are paying for are people who can be the interface between AI capabilities and business needs. These people are way more valuable than someone who can barely put together a good prompt or set up a flashy demo. And right now, there is a massive shortage of them because most people are still stuck at "I can write a good prompt" phase. That's it. That's their whole AI skill set. Look, that was valuable in 2024. But in 2026, it's the baseline. It's the bare minimum everyone expected to have. So what's actually valuable now? Skills like building your own personal AI stack, designing autonomous workflows and driving business value through rapid prototyping, context engineering, AI communication, and visual AI. These are the skills that get you hired or get you promoted. Most importantly, they keep you relevant when everything around you is getting automated. In this video, I am breaking down 8 of them, the ones that actually matter in the 2026 job market. Skills you can start building immediately so you don't get left behind. Alright, let's do it. Knowing how to use ChatGPT was pretty impressive around a year or so ago. Now, it's more like saying you know how to use Google. What employers need are people who can think systematically about AI and are updating their skills every week. Let's now break down the 8 skills that make that shift possible. Skill number 1, AI literacy. Or as I like to call it, learning to read AI answers and understand its limitations. LLMs are still confident even when they are wrong, but less than you think. ChatGPT 5.2 thinking makes around 6 response level errors per 100 queries. It means that an average power user with 20 prompts per day will get around 1 hallucinated answer with ChatGPT 5.2 thinking. So you need to have those skills to detect such errors. Let me give you 3 techniques to become a better AI reader. 1. Spot vague language. Generally speaking, in many cases, it's often taught these are hedge words, meaning AI is uncertain. Compare that to specific. According to MIT's 2025 study, specific means confident. 2. If in doubt, check for sources. In 2026, hallucinations are greatly reduced in most recent models, but they still occur. Ask what's your source for that. A lot of times AI backtracks. I don't have a specific source. That's a red flag. And in that case, try and verify with Perplexity. 3. Use the confidence test. Just ask, rate your confidence from 1 to 10 and explain why. You would be surprised how often AI will say, I would rate this a 5 or 6 because I don't have real-time data on this. Or I am making assumptions about your specific context. You just have to ask. This doesn't mean AI is bad. It just means you need to know how to read it, like Wikipedia. Useful for overview, but verify before citing. Since we are nowhere near the stage of zero hallucinations in 2026, AI literacy is the most critical skill. It's about calibration, knowing when to trust it fully, when to verify, and when to ignore it completely. Skill 2. Building your personal AI stack. Nowadays, for better or worse, most people go straight to ChatGPT if they need any kind of assistance involving AI. But that's a very narrow approach, especially considering how many AI-enabled specialized tools there are. Pros build a stack, basically different tools for different jobs. It's sort of like a sports team. You don't have one player do everything. Everyone has their own role that they excel at. Here is what a basic stack might look like. Your thinking layer. ChatGPT for general tasks, Claude for human-sounding writing, Gemini for research and Google integration. Your research layer. Perplexity for the most up-to-date info with sources, NotebookLM for synthesizing your own documents. Your curation layer. Nano Banana or Midjourney for images. Suno for audio, Runway for video. Your automation layer. NA10, Zapier or Make for connecting everything together. You don't need all of these straight away. I would suggest starting with 3. 1 LM for thinking, 1 research tool, 1 creation tool for whatever format you work in most. Start using particular tools for particular tasks. Once you master those, expand and research other tools within the same category. But the mindset shift is this. Stop thinking, what can ChatGPT do? And start thinking, what tool is best for this specific job? That's stack thinking, and it's how you start operating at a different level when AI is involved. Skill 3. AI agent design. Agents are the big thing right now in 2026. ChatGPT has them, Claude has them, Google has them. The problem is that these pre-built agents are still quite far off from being as customizable and usable as companies require them to be. So designing your own agent workflows becomes a really valuable skill. Take Ben Tossell at Factory AI, who just went viral on X with this post. He used to push no-code tools and admits he doesn't code traditionally, but with their Droid agent, he just describes what he wants in plain English, and the AI builds real software. In a few months, he has shipped dozens of actual projects. Use an agent when the workflow is repetitive with the same steps every time. It's predictable, requiring no creative judgment calls. It's time-consuming, but low stakes, like data entry, report generation, email drafts, or even pulling together info from different apps. Don't use an agent then. Every case is unique and needs human judgment. The stakes are high and mistakes are costly. It's faster to just do it yourself. For example, a bad use would be respond to customer complaints autonomously. Way too much nuance, too high stakes, clearly needs human judgment. Whereas a good use of an agent, when someone books a call, check calendar, send confirmation, add to CRM. That's the opposite. Repetitive, predictable, perfect for an agent. So how do you design one? Step 1. Map the workflow manually first. What are the exact steps? What's the trigger? What are the actions? Don't automate a massive workflow. Fix it manually first and only then automate. Step 2. Identify the decision points. Where does the agent need to choose between options? Make those rules explicit. For example, if the inquiry is about pricing, use this template. If it's about support, use that one. Step 3. Built-in safety checks and verification loops. What does a human need to review before the agent acts? And crucially, give the agent ways to self-check its work. For our booking example, maybe the agent drafts the email but you approve it before it sends, at least initially. Step 4. Test with low-stakes scenarios first. Don't go live with your whole customer base day 1. Start small, iterate. As you can probably tell, the skill here isn't coding, it's more of a strategic thinking, where you need to understand what to automate, when to add safeguards so AI gets it right, and building in feedback for continuous improvement. AI Workflow Designer has even become a real job title now, since agent design is so important in 2026. Skill 4. Multimodal thinking, working across formats. Most people's perception of AI usage is limited to the text mode and ChatGPT, but AI works with images, video, audio, code, almost anything you can think of, and then the real power comes from combining them all. For example, text to image. You describe a concept, AI generates a visual. Incredibly useful for mockups, presentations, or social media, or vice versa. Image to text. Upload a screenshot, a diagram, a whiteboard photo, AI reads it and extracts the information like structure notes from a whiteboard after a meeting. Text to video. Tools like Sora or Runway can now generate video from descriptions. Not perfect yet, but good enough for concept testing or B-roll. Audio to text to action. Record a voice memo while on the go. Let's say, hey, I just had an idea for the Q1 campaign. Then AI transcribes it all and turns it into a project brief. All from 2-minute voice note. See how much more you can do than just text to text? The skill here is thinking about which format is best for a job. Sometimes text is fastest, sometimes visual is easier to understand, sometimes audio is more convenient. I mean, instead of typing out detailed image descriptions, I will upload a reference image. Make this, but for my brand. This was way faster, and that is just one example. I would suggest using text when you need precision, searchability, or it's information heavy. Switch to images if you need visual clarity, emotional impact. Video is the one that is still improving, so opt for it more rarely if you need to demonstrate a process or show motion. Use audio when it's more natural to speak than write, or the content is conversational. The biggest mistake most people make is that they default to the text because that's what ChatGPT started with. But in 2026, AI is fully multimodal. Knowing how to work across formats makes you way more versatile. Skill 5. Human-AI division of labor. Or maybe more accurately, knowing what you should do versus what AI should do. The skill here is strategic allocation. What stays with you, what goes to AI. Learning what modern LLMs and agentic tools can and cannot do in 2026 is frustrating. That's normal. Even top AI researchers like Andrej Karpathy openly admit to feeling never this much behind as a programmer, calling this shift to agentic workflows a magnitude 9 earthquake with no manual in sight. So let's try and define it a little. What tasks should we hire AI for in 2026? It is exceptional at first drafts, data processing, repetitive tasks, research, formatting, debugging, and even generating full code bases. Whereas humans excel at edge cases, nuance, creativity, quality judgment, and verification, ensuring that AI's outputs align with intent. So the workflow becomes: AI generates, you select and verify. AI researches and processes, you synthesize and add taste. AI drafts and debugs, you edit for voice, inject nuance, and approve. It's never just one or the other. Let's say I'm writing a blog post in 2026. Here is my updated workflow. AI does research, creative outline, generate the first draft. Then I do add personal stories, adjust tone, cut generic parts, add specific examples from my own experience, and make the final call on publishing. This saves so much time, and the end result is better than either could achieve alone. Ask yourself, what part is repetitive or compute intensive that goes straight to AI? What part needs judgment, verification, or creative spark that stays with you? You need to know when to draw the line. You become irreplaceable if you can orchestrate what AI does and where the human layer is added, multiplying your output and its quality. Skill 6. Rapid prototyping with AI. AI lets you test ideas before building them, like really test them. Not just think about it. Actually create something functional enough to evaluate. The old way was, you have an idea for a landing page, right? Okay, then you either build it yourself, which takes days, or hire a designer, which costs money and takes time. In the end, you find out it doesn't work. Bummer. The new way is a bit more streamlined. Describe your landing page to AI. Create a landing page for product targeted at audience with these key points. AI generates the full HTML, CSS, you open it in a browser, and you can immediately see and test it. Even share it with people for feedback. Just imagine how much time, effort, and money for the company you just saved. You're not shipping this. You're prototyping, testing if the concept works before investing real resources. Here is my rapid prototyping framework. Step 1. Define what you're testing. Let's say, does this messaging resonate? Step 2. Use AI to create the minimum viable asset. Landing page, mockup, concept doc, whatever lets you test the idea. Step 3. Test it with real people. Show it to potential users and get feedback. Step 4. Decision time. Iterate or kill. If it's working, refine it. If not, you have only wasted 30 minutes instead of 3 months. This is now used across all industries in one way or another, and the beauty of it is that you can fail fast, which might not sound like a good thing, but that fast failing is how you find what actually works. The skill is what lets you operate at 10x speed, exceeding your competitors. One major mistake I see with a lot of newcomers in the field is that they try AI prototyping once, like a new image generator, but don't get perfect results and then just write it off forever. They become skeptics and stop experimenting entirely. 6 months later, the same tool gets a major upgrade with better quality or new capabilities and they miss it completely. The tools improve dramatically every few months. So to stay ahead, you need to keep testing the latest versions even if the first try wasn't flawless. Skill 7. AI communication. Explaining AI to people who don't get it yet. It's kind of blessing in disguise that most people, your boss, clients, team, don't understand or know how to use AI strategically. Sure, they might have played around with ChatGPT, but if you can bridge the gap and translate AI capabilities into business value, you become the go-to person. If you want to develop this skill yourself, here are a few quick techniques. 1. Don't say, we should use ChatGPT with custom GPT connected to our API. Instead say, we can automate customer support responses and reduce response time from 4 hours to 4 minutes. Nobody cares about the tool, they care about the result. 2. Use analogies. Prompt engineering is like giving good directions to someone who's never been to your house. See what I did here? Analogies make abstract concepts concrete. 3. Show, don't tell. Instead of explaining what AI can do, show them. Create a demo. Here, watch this. I'm going to ask AI to analyze our last quarter's data. Let them see it work. That is way more convincing than a presentation about AI capabilities. Kind of like all these graphics we used to make this video more polished. 4. AI is powerful, but it's not magic. You and I both know it still makes a ton of mistakes. It needs human oversight since it's a tool, not a replacement for thinking. If you overpromise and underdeliver, you lose credibility entirely. Better to underpromise and overdeliver. When you're starting out, this will save you a few hours a week is better than this will revolutionize everything. In 2026, every company is trying to figure out their AI strategy. They know they need to do something, they might just not know what. If you can help them to understand what's possible, what's realistic, and how to implement it, you can become the person they need for AI transformation. It's not necessarily about being the most technical person, more so the translator between AI capabilities and business needs. Skill 8. Context engineering. We could define it as curating what goes into AI's memory to make it perform like a pro. As Henri Carpati puts it, context engineering is the delicate art and science of filling the context window with just right information for the next steps. Most users, even tech-savvy ones, overlook prompt tweaking and jump straight to the models. But if you learn to engineer the perfect context, you turn flaky generic AI outputs into reliable business-grade results. If you want to level up the skill, here are a few proven techniques from AI leaders like Anthropic engineers. 1. Don't dump everything in. Instead of overwhelming the model with raw data, use retrieval strategies like RAG to fetch only what's relevant right when it's needed, keeping the context window clean and focused. 2. Build memory layers. Set up short-term memory for ongoing chats and long-term storage in vector databases for user history and preferences. This gives your AI a notebook to reference without cluttering its immediate thoughts. 3. Compact and summarize smartly. When context gets too long, have the AI prune history by summarizing key points or offloading details to external tools. This avoids the context rot, where performance tanks from info overload. 4. Use agents for isolation. For complex tasks, prompt sub-agents with their own context to handle subtasks. Then feed back just the essentials. This scales AI without exploding the main window. Remember, context engineering isn't about bigger models, it's about smarter setups. In 2026, as AI agents become standard in every workflow, companies will scramble for ways to make them reliable. If you can engineer context to bridge raw AI power with real-world needs, you will be the indispensable architect driving that transformation. So, those are the 8 AI skills that will help you excel in 2026. You don't need to master all 8 at once. Pick 2 that are most relevant to your work. Start there, then come back to this video, pick another 2 and expand. But start. Because the gap between people who have these skills and people who don't is getting wider every month. If you found this valuable, give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel reach more people who need this. And subscribe for more content on AI topics like this. We release new videos every single week. Drop a comment and tell me which skill you are going to focus on first. Are you building your AI stack? Learning agent design? What's your priority? Let me know. Also, if you're looking for structured learning on AI skills, automation, building real projects, everything you need to actually integrate AI into your work and career, check out Turing College courses in the description. We focus on hands-on work that builds your portfolio and help you land that first role. See you in the next one.